Security center in the Gaza Strip. It is heating up by the day, and today it went another step. Hamas now threatening new homicide bomb attacks inside of Israel. Israeli tanks heading into the Gaza Strip, and they say that move is aimed at protecting against militants firing rockets across the border. There is gunfire and explosions raging across Gaza City and widespread battles there. And watching all of this from the Israeli-Gaza border is Rena Ninen, who leads our news now in the Middle East. Rena?
Hi, Bill. That's right. An F-16 Israeli fighter jet launched an attack on a Hamas headquarters here in Gaza, just behind me. And in fact, several believed to have been killed, 45 injured, 5 of them including children. The leaders of Fatah and Hamas were scheduled to meet in Gaza today. That meeting has been called off. However, in Israel, an Israeli cabinet did approve this attack to be taking place on Hamas headquarters and also on rockets that are being launched into Israel. Israel didn't want to be reeled in, but they were forced to respond after rockets were lobbed into Israel. Our Fox News cameras caught 2 Israeli Apache helicopters hovering over the Gaza-Israeli border, prepared to attack and hit possible rocket launching sites. They're equipped with missiles and machine guns. These measures needed after 8 Qassam rockets were fired into the town of Sderot today. One of those Qassams hit a school where students were next door taking exams. No one was killed. And you're looking live. Take a look here. You can see some of the smoke rising over as these rockets are being launched over into Gaza. You can, they are actually Israelis launching attacks onto Hamas compound, we believe. The Hamas military wing confirms to Fox News that they are threatening now suicide bombing attacks. The last one took place in August of 2005. It was foiled largely because of good intelligence and barriers put in place. That's largely the reason why there have not been future attacks. I will now send it back to you, Bill, live in the newsroom in New York.
Marina, thank you for that picture there. I just want to clarify something here. As we look into Gaza there with that live picture, is that Palestinians on Palestinians, or is that Israel on Palestinians?
Bill, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Just want to know the source of that fighting as we look into Gaza. Is that part of the Israeli move into Gaza, or is that more Hamas and Fatah?
That's right. We can't confirm it officially yet, but we believe that that is to be likely Israeli airstrikes taking place on Hamas compounds. That authorization being given by the Israeli cabinet this morning.
Okay, Rena Ninen, thanks for that report there on the border between Israel and Gaza. We said it's been heating up by the day, and it looks like today it took another step forward. Rena, thanks for that. Back to the Middle East in a moment here.
And another developing story right now, this one in New Jersey, where wildfires have charred some 14,000 acres and forced hundreds into shelters overnight. Firefighters got some help from Mother Nature late yesterday when storms brought rain to the region, but that was not enough to completely knock out the threat. Live from America's Newsroom now, we go to Todd Connor in Warren Grove, New Jersey. Good morning, Todd.
Good morning, Megan. Yeah, the rain that moved through the area last night really helped firefighters turn the corner on this one. That's the phrase they've been using. And later today, they could have this thing completely contained. Let's take a look from the air from shots earlier this morning. You can see that some plumes of smoke still rising above the horizon. So there are some hot spots out there, as has been indicated by some of the fire officials here on site. The last report was that it is 70% contained. That's the number they gave us late last night, and it's the number they're sticking with today until they get a better idea of just how much is still burning out there. Mother Nature, as you mentioned, was a very big help. It rained at least 4 hours here last night, dropping ½ inch of rain. They really only expected to get about ¼ of an inch, so that was a blessing as well. As you mentioned, 14,000 acres have burned, 5 homes destroyed, and 13 others damaged. However, we are told this morning that no other homes are in harm's way. 500 people did remain in shelters as of this morning, many of them elderly, especially nursing home residents. But of the 6,000 people evacuated, most everyone is back at home. Many of the 1,000 firefighters who've been battling this blaze over the last couple of days have also gone home. Their demobilization began last night, but many crews do remain on scene, and those who do remain here will spend the day mopping up around the perimeter and also trying to find some hot spots.
What we're going to be doing today is just surveying the overall fire area, looking at the fire perimeter. We do have some areas within our fire perimeter that didn't burn, so those are the areas we'll be assessing to ensure that those do not reignite.
And we're showing you a live picture now of some of those 5 burned out homes in the area of the wildfire. People going back there and trying to see what's left of what they left behind when they were forced to run from the flames. The weather here, Megan, cooperating today so far. The temperature is low. The winds until recently were quite low too. They've been picking up a little bit. Humidity is high, all things that fire officials say will help them today. And meanwhile, the investigation is underway into what caused this. However, it's believed that a flare from an Air National Guard fighter jet during a training exercise here at the Warren Grove Gunnery Range may have sparked this wildfire. Megan, back to you.
Todd, we are looking at some incredible pictures now. I don't know if you've got feedback out there in the field, but of homes that were burned in these fires. Incredible. I mean, there is just nothing left to these homes. Let me ask you this. There were some unconfirmed reports on the cause of the fire. I know what you just said it was, that perhaps they suspected it was not from that military base, but it was an intentional fire, that indeed it may have been arson. Are you hearing anything along those lines out there?
We haven't heard any more on that, but I know the investigation is still in its early stages, and the military certainly wasn't wanting to jump to any conclusions and take the blame. However, I do have to say that yesterday we were told the Air Force had already started making some preliminary payments to those people who did lose their homes and were burned out. So they felt like they may have been responsible, but, you know, as in all investigations, this may be a while.
Wow. Well, they are going to need the financial help from the look of the situation on the ground there. Todd Conner, thank you so much.